holding itself together. Sanford, you've mainly just got some heavy rain. I'm not concerned about that. We got a new little cell over Oviedo High School. We're going to keep tracking on that. But we're going to watch this little cell right now near Geneva. This is the St. Johns River in Lake Harney. Well, I think we do at least have some hail or some very gusty winds right over the Scottsmore area. But let's track this. It's kind of broken a little bit into two pieces. Moving east now at 30. So east over toward the Scottsmore area. South of Oak Hill. Oak Hill, you're kind of on the northern periphery of all this nastiness to your south. Still getting some heavy rain, but the rotation generally is on the southern side of all of these storms. That's why we're always focusing kind of south and down toward the Mims area. So you've already gotten some heavy winds and rain right here along I-95, Maytown, Scottsmore, Shiloh, and Allenhurst in the Mims area. We have a few more seconds left. We'll take you back to the game live on Channel 9 and continue on TV 27 until this weather wants to quiet down. This green line right through here is outflow, so that's going to be a gusty wind cooling things down. And we're starting to get little cells popping up as that gust front moves down right over the Oviedo area. So getting some rain as we curve around 419. Nothing that's threatening at this time, but we'll continue to monitor. Because that's the way it's been today. It's one storm, then another storm. Stay tuned here. We'll have more cut-ins if necessary during the basketball game. If you want more coverage, tune in on TV 27. Also on 96.5 WDBO, hashtag StormTrack9. And still monitoring this activity that's through eastern sections of Seminole County, right along the St. Johns River, right through here and Scottsmore. You can see the lightning core. That's where the updraft is. It's right over Scottsmore and now moving off into the open Atlantic. So that's where the heaviest thunderstorm activity is at this current time. You see Orlando, Lake Buena Vista, a nice, warm, humid, steamy, spring-like afternoon here. But we can get these, especially when we have these old fronts that get stuck down here in late February. They can start generating their own environment for thunderstorms. Is this the Geneva storm?
Yeah, this is the storm. Actually, no, this is the storm near Shiloh.
Oh, Shiloh. Okay.
Just northeast of Scottsmore.
Yeah, we're using our 3D technology. We have exclusive rights to this here at Channel 9, and it kind of helps us at particular times of the year to kind of see the development, the vertical height, and the structure, if you will, of these thunderstorms. And this is 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 feet. And this red color, the higher up that red gets above 20,000 feet, that's all hail generation. It's really cold up there. So the hailstones kind of circulate up and down like a tumbling machine, and they get larger and larger and larger. Eventually they fall through because they get so heavy. And the stronger that updraft, the larger the hail can get. And if we can pull up, we had one of our Twitter or Facebook images a minute ago of the lady, person holding the hail in their hands. That was impressive because that came in, I believe, from the Sanford Lake Mary area, and that certainly showed the potential of the hail inside that particular storm. So along the coast, we're still watching. Put it back on velocity for a minute, George. Let's do BV there and see. Still some rotational energy now east of Geneva, right over the St. Johns River. There's no distinct couplet that I can see except maybe right here on the leading edge. So we'll have to keep track of that. We have several computers back here. They all do different things very well, so we kind of swish between the two. Here's Oviedo with just some heavy rain in your vicinity, but still watching this particular cell that's right along the St. Johns River. That's going to move toward Maytown and in toward Osteen. But over here along the coast, George, that storm near Scottsmore, certainly showing a lot of spunk right now. And look at all the lightning, George. We've got almost 100 lightning strikes here in the last 20 minutes, and that tells me the storm is getting pretty tall. You have to have the ice and the liquid water kind of rubbing and bumping heads up there to generate electricity. So as we get more lightning, usually an indication that we can get some pretty strong hail out of that cell right there along the coast.
Yeah, this is the strongest storm we have, bar none. Right now, the strongest thunderstorm in Scottsmore, just to the east of Scottsmore. This will be tracking across the intracoastal over the next 10 minutes here and then push offshore. This eventually, primarily, this was developing ahead of the original thunderstorm, and we've seen it intensify. It sort of took over, and right now there's indication that we could have some isolated hail here above 1 inch in diameter. This is just to the east of Scottsmore, and again, probably within 5 miles of the Atlantic. Moving to the east, pretty good clip, around 30 miles per hour. We've seen signs of rotation, kind of broad rotation, okay, around 7.5 miles.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out you were wrong on that.
Sure,
it's not 5.5, it's about 6 miles.
About operative word. Okay, 7 to 10 miles from the open Atlantic here. But Highway 1, Dixie Highway, I-95, that's where some of the heaviest rain is here. And the initial thunderstorm, Brian, you remember this. This is the initial thunderstorm right here. Now it's basically just rain, maybe gusting around a little bit. This was the main guy that triggered this huge tornado warning. This is a big tornado warning we have. And right now it's weakened a little bit, and that tornado warning remains in effect for the next 15 minutes, and it still encompasses Oak Hill, Scottsmore, the northern sections of Brevard County, areas south of New Smyrna Beach. Sanford is still technically under the tornado warning, but that strong thunderstorm has pushed well to the east here, and areas around Orlando have yet to see a drop of rain. So it goes to show the scattered nature of these thunderstorms, and when you get these isolated strong thunderstorms, they can kind of take all the energy and take charge of the situation. So we're watching, again, still pushing to the east here, 30 miles per hour. Some signs of rotation, but they're not as vigorous as they were around a half an hour ago. Still some heavy rain here. Highway 1, Oak Hill towards Scottsmore. This is another look at another radar tool we have. Same thing, heavy rain between Scottsmore
right in there.
and Shiloh. And of course, yeah, Tom, as you were saying, the meso indicator right here indicating, okay, we have some rotation. This is rotation of the thunderstorm itself, not necessarily a tornado, but also an indication of half-inch hail in here as well. Yeah, you want to show the cross-section? So, okay, great. Thank you, Brian. You can see the updraft here showing intense updrafts up until around 20,000 feet, and then some weaker updrafts up toward 30,000 feet. So, Tom, does it look like this thing has maybe intensified in the last 10 minutes or so?
We're right there along the coast, though. So fortunately, we're in about the least populated area that we can find in Brevard. By the way, we had the picture earlier. Someone from the top of the Speedway had the little tornado in the distance circled, a little Photoshop action there. That is not real. From what we've been able to find out, yeah.
Perfect example of when you see things on Twitter, sometimes you have to verify. So, again, still, we do have a tornado warning, though, with this thunderstorm as it tracks about 6 miles now, Brian, from the coastline here. So, really, once we get this thunderstorm to track offshore, we'll be in a lot better shape, and we're in a lot better shape right now than we were about a half an hour ago. So about the next 10 minutes, we'll be watching this thunderstorm between Scottsmore and Mims push to the east around 30 miles per hour. Again, we continue with that tornado warning for the next 14 minutes. I'm thinking, Tom and Brian, that this tornado warning will likely stay in effect through 5:15 as it was originally set to do, just because we have this lingering activity here. But the main threat for any tornadic activity now is going to be on the eastern side of this box. This thunderstorm kind of taking most of the energy, or using up most of the atmosphere's available energy here, now pushing really near the coastline, Brian.
Yeah, and it's so close to moving offshore, as you were mentioning, and that's going to be the good news. So it does look like it's just after 5 o'clock now. This should expire. Again, we're still watching that storm back to the west, a few storms. So what happened was all these storms that ahead of it robbed the energy of that big storm that rolled through Sanford by the zoo midway with tons of hail. But you can see this big warning here should be set to expire, but using our live radar data, a tool we have unique to us, and you can see the sweep. There's the radar not far away from the storm, so you can see how close it is to the coastline and pushing off. And if you've ever driven down here from, say, New Smyrna Beach, as Tom was saying, there's not a whole lot down there. So long, not many folks are sightseeing. Again, we're going to be okay along the coast once that pushes off. I'm still watching you, though, in Scottsmore. Still kind of a nasty storm, but it's the back end of it. This is I-95 right through here, and that's about to shove off to the coast. These are becoming a little bit more garden variety back behind it. But there's the core of lightning, and lightning is an indicator, at least marginally, to how much a storm can intensify or how intense a storm is. So we're watching that, about to move offshore, but still near Scottsmore. You want to take those tornado precautions. We've seen a little rotation. So we're joining you now on Channel 9. You're not going to miss any of the game. We're going to cut in breaks as promised, but we're still watching this tornado warning. Now, this area here is about to be under the gun that Tom or George just circled there. But again, the main bulk of this is about to push offshore. Still, again, a heavy cluster of thunderstorms, lots of lightning just about a mile or two from the coast. So once that moves off, that will most likely allow this warning to expire. Back to the west, we're still seeing some rain and storms. But again, the energy has been robbed from the storms that ahead of it. So these are not as intense, a little more garden variety back to the west. This storm that just rolled through Osteen, but still along I-95. And you can see back to the west, things are quickly settling down in the eastern sections. Or rather western sections where that storm was, but still some storms up toward Port Orange and by the Speedway. Tom?
All right, thanks a lot, Brian. A little glimmer of hope here for folks trying to get back to a race up here at Daytona. 200,000 folks, of course, half of them look like they at least bugged out for the moment after the weather moved by. But we will stay with this storm right here on TV 27. Thanks for joining us on Channel 9. We'll keep you advised. And right now, still heavy thunderstorms just about ready to move offshore in the Atlantic. This storm cell has made a long trek across the peninsula now. You can still see here Scottsmore, Oak Hill with the thunderstorm itself just about ready to